up, gamers? I'm Jason, and I'm back with our regular host on Kickstarter Excess or Value, although I think this time it'd be what game found excess or value since we're
crowdfunding. Crowdfunding excess or value.
Yes, today it's crowdfunding excess or value as we take a look at the reprint and expansion for Uprising Curse of the Last Emperor by Nemesis Games. Now, this is going to be a little bit of a change of pace because I used to own the game. Ryan now
owns the game.
Yes, my copy of the game. So we have two of us here that have played the game, but before we get into it, I'm going to let our hosts introduce themselves and tell you where you can find them on the internet and follow all the awesome content that they're doing.
Hey, everybody, it's Rob and
Anna Marie
from the Meeple Dungeon out here in Kelowna, BC. You can find us on Twitter and YouTube and our podcast on all the major podcasting sites.
And hey, folks, it's Ryan here from Mr. Rao's Gaming Rants and Reviews. And you can check out my YouTube channel, just MISTARAW Gaming. And I got lots of reviews and some playthroughs. And of course, what everybody wants to hear are the good old fish shaking rants.
There's been a lot of those out lately, in particular about CMON.
Today's just launched about CMON games and how come I can't get a functional insert or organizer.
There's also the shipping ones going around out there where everyone's got a hot take on it, but yeah, that's for another video.
That's another case, another day.
All right, so I'll let the Pledge Master Ryan bring up the page for Uprising, and I'll give you a little bit of background on the lore of the game, what you're doing in the game, and why you're doing it. So this is Uprising, Titans of the First Age, which is the new expansion for the game. This is a 1 to 4 player 4X cooperative game where you are on the last island remaining of civilization. You're on the island of Azul because the Dracoria Empire has fallen. The previous emperor and emperors before that built their empire using the technology of a lost civilization. And, you know, when someone gets power hungry and things like that, it just didn't go very well. So everything went to hell. The forces of chaos surged forth. They froze the world, and the island of Azul is the last bastion of all these different fantasy races. Now, you've got 4 asymmetric factions in the core box. You also have another few factions in the second expansion, which was the Arch Nemesis box. I don't remember if it's 2 or 4 off the top of my head. And you'll be adding 2 new factions in the Titans of the First Age. What you're going to be doing is you have different havens. You'll be building units on havens during specific phases that occur during each chapter. And you can only build once, depending on the cards. So then you'll be moving across the map to engage the forces of the Empire, known as the Legion, that are still around. You'll be fighting the forces of chaos and their curses as you try to ensure that you have enough victory points so that all factions that are in the game are ahead of chaos as well as the Legion. So each faction will play differently. You apparently have a faction that plays like a Legion and a Horde in this one with Titans of the First Age. You get to be like badass gods. So there's some pretty cool stuff here, but I think I've talked enough just about the game itself. You got a good idea as to what you'll be doing. So let's now dive into it. And we're on Ryan's favorite page when it comes to scrolling and explaining.
See, did you guys see that I was able to just jump to where the gameplay is?
Yeah. So
without
nice.
having to scroll.
So nice.
So you can see what you're doing. Like you'll explore. There's those walls, which will really relate to your positioning and how you can move. As you can see, then you move and you fight the big bad guys, but you'll have to weaken them first because this is a dice chucking game. And at least the core game, very little in the way of dice mitigation. So things can go south real quick. So you need to conquer those hexes, gain those rewards, keep expanding your army as you try to take the capital and just get all those points.
I liked that. And because we haven't played this game in that last one up there. Nope. Usually with like the 4X, you're when you're conquering, you're just exploring and things, but this is reclaiming your home. And I thought that was a neat take on it too. So you're fighting them to just like stay where you are, right? Like reclaiming it. I thought that was just a neat I was going to say, this has been such a refreshing page to look at. I love how they've laid it out. It's just, I mean, I know that's not what this channel is, but it was so nice to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, they did a good job on like selling their game, I think.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's great.
I had the game. I own the game. I'll talk a little bit when we get into certain sections as to why I passed the game on to Ryan. Ryan has the game. It's still in his collection.
I've played it a good, I think about a handful of times now at this stage and everything. So yeah.
And Julie and I played it at quite a few player counts. There's just a few reasons why it wasn't quite the right fit, but presentation-wise, Anna-Marie, you were dead right. Like everything looks good. Component quality, it's beautiful. The only thing I would say is that they really should have made the cards smaller. The game is definitely a table hog, and that's something that could have been mitigated with a little bit of changes.
I'll agree that it is a table hog. I got a 3x5 table in my kitchen that we usually game on. And it takes up a good chunk of that real estate when you have the two sideboards and the main board going at the same, and your own player faction boards going on at the same time. So, okay.
All right. So why don't we scroll down and see what we have in terms of the pledges?
I'm sorry. Are you done scrolling?
Whoa.
I don't have to scroll. I can just hit a button.
One wiggle of the finger and you're down to here, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Boggled my mind. How Kickstarter can't fix their interface, but that's a whole other rant.
That's another rant for another day. The bundle, I think they just start off with the big one right up at the top here. The bundle, the hero pledge is, I think, the big one. If you want all of the big boxes, this pledge includes the core box and the 2 expansions, Arch Nemesis and Titans of the First Age, all unlocks from this and the last campaign. Shipping and VAT will be charged after the campaign. And I can, if you want more detail, I can click on that. And then it'll show you everything that's part of that campaign. So there's them 4 main factions that are part of that core box. And they each have 2 heroes.
Those nice acrylic standees.
Yeah, I love the color schemes. I love that the vibrant purple and yellow.
These standees really pop
on the table.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that they don't mention, but if you played any video games and looked into color blindness, everything is colorblind friendly. That's why it's the more muted versions of the colors. You're not getting those like pastel. Sorry, that's why you're more pastels instead of the reds and the greens and things.
Yeah, that's nice though too. Hey,
really cool when publishers keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more colorblind people than you would think. Like even in my group of friends, I think I know of 3. So
no, it's the modular trays. Everything fits really well. The one problem is don't expect to get rid of any of your boxes.
Yeah, there's no simple way of just putting all of this in just like the core main one core box. You're gonna have to keep the expansion boxes.
Right.
As well, because they have each of those, or at least the one that I have has more of these game trays.
Each faction has their own tray.
Each faction has one of these where you keep all of their pieces in.
And are they legit game trays? Or
are they?
I don't think so. Because you're not seeing the game tray logo, but they're good quality. They're similar in quality to the game trays.
Yeah, they look good. They look really good.
Yeah. I think,
and I was looking back on the Kickstarter as to why they might have just gone like front and center with the bundle pledge. And that's because it's only 2,500 people total backed the Kickstarter originally. Don't know how many people they got it on late pledge, but when you're comparing like big campaigns, like that's a good campaign, but that means that there's a lot of people that did not get your game. So you might as well throw the bundle front and center. Yeah. So we clicked on the bundle. We can see the price here, but let's scroll down and let's just talk about the reprint.
Okay, so here's the reprint of Uprising. I've got it converted to Canadian for us on the screen here.
So what would it be? I was
going to say,
if you click,
if I click this, it's 99 US.
Okay, so it's gone up by $20. When it originally was out, it was $79 for just the core game.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing
and
I'll
we saw
say, value-wise, the core game, what you're getting, components, quality, can't be beat. 79 was a steal. And
Well, and I think that was. Oh, go ahead.
At 99, like with the increase, it's still a steal.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say too, when you said this one, the original came out in 2018. That was the Kickstarter.
Sorry, it's 20. I think it was 2019. The last like updates. I think it locked in like 2020. It was 19 or 20. I think they were talking about it in 18 though, because it had 6 years of playtesting.
Yeah, and when you think of how, unfortunately, how much games have gone up, and for due to all the different circumstances, it still seems like you're getting. Like that seems par for what you're getting in the box. Like you said, like you're getting good value in that box, even at the 99 US.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. From everything I've seen to this point, when we got to this part, I thought this was going to be much more expensive. So good on them.
Oh, they've done a fantastic job. I feel like they're not taking they're not taking a large margin out of this. They're really trying to grow, I think, a legitimate company, and they're putting that into the pockets of their fans, so that they can, eventually be doing more stuff, and then they'll probably be taking that higher margin later on.
Yeah, especially if I take a look at past episodes that we've just finished doing, games of this physical size, we've been starting to see creeping into that 130 mark and everything like that. So I can attest for the amount of actual physical stuff as you get inside this game. Yeah, 999's right bang on.
And something to note too, I was going to say, is they're not going to retail, so they only offer it on GameFound. So from what I understand, so the only way you would get a copy of this outside of the crowdfunding here on GameFound would be buying it off of someone else.
Secondary market.
They do sell through their website, very small amount.
Okay.
I do know that. I think that's how Dyson Men got their copy, was from the designers, their overstock. And the other thing that they do is sell at conventions.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So,
but other than those
but not going to any
those
stores.
Will be, those will be limited quantities.
Yeah. And either way, you're paying to get it shipped to you, right?
Yeah.
So
the show is called Kickstarter Excess or Value. There's definitely value in the game. That's why I backed it originally, and the value is still there today.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Even at a $20 increase.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The new Titan pledge.
Actually, scroll down just quickly, Ron. I want to see what they did with the Arch Nemesis expansion.
They have you can only get the Arch Nemesis. Is that
as an add-on? Okay, it's an add-on or that ultimate pledge. Okay.
Yeah.
Arch Nemesis is an add-on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so this is what the whole new crowdfunding page is all set up for people that have the new content. For people who already have Uprising can get some new content. The Titan pledge requires the core box, includes the new Titans of the first stage expansion and all unlocks from this campaign at 59 American, 75 Canadian for an expansion.
Really good. Mm-hmm.
The reason why this one's a little cheaper, Rob, is that there's not as many factions in it.
Right.
You're getting. So the Arch Nemesis is 4, if I'm not mistaken, and this is 2.
Right.
Yeah. So this one's getting you 2 of these new factions.
But it's also giving you gameplay.
This is also adding mercenaries to the game that we can hire for a price. Of course, they're mercenary because they're mercenaries.
You were and this is, I think, the main reason to back this, and it's why this game may have stayed in my collection, are the mercenaries as well as the nether sea pirate standees. So because of the pirate ships, Ryan, you move around on the ice, so on the outskirts of the board. But if you take the sea tower, you are now then adjacent to all spaces on the map, as you are in the base game. And it gives you extra archery die to use your ship to shoot any square on the map when you're attacking, which is just really cool. And then the mercenaries, the ones that have the silver and gold dice, have the gold die is double hits and triple hits and basically can never miss. So
Nice.
you're always guaranteed to get successes, and the silver die can also help out. And the one thing that they changed, which was a big problem in the original, is that the game is basically multiplayer solitaire. Like you cannot really interact with the other factions much beyond quests and a few cards in the game. While these mercenaries, let's say like I'm getting demolished because everyone has to be higher on the point scale, you could buy me the gold mercenary and be like, you're in trouble. You need this gold mercenary. Go kick some butt. Get some victory points.
That's awesome.
There you go. Bring in that true cooperative nature of the game.
Yeah.
It's nice because they did say there's no like quarterbacking in there because it's so asymmetrical, like with the player boards, which is
There
nice
is quarterbacking. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You kind of have to quarterback this game a little bit because at least in the base game, and the quarterbacking is more like debating strategy. You can't tell someone what to do, but you kind of be like, well, if you don't do this and I get run over, like we're dead. Like that's the kind of conversations you're having.
I find that just like game conversation, right?
You're
Like
still kind of telling the person what to do because it's
but they're making the ultimate decision. I'm gonna kill you.
true, but
Wrong
it's
choice.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. The game is very much balances on a knife edge though, because one bad roll can annihilate your entire army for a whole chapter, meaning you've got no more combat until the next chapter. So that's like an hour later in the game.
Yikes.
And from the reason why I passed it on.
From what I read about this was that was the big complaint, was the amount of luck that was brought into this game that you had to deal with, particularly bad luck on dice rolling. And I guess that's changed a bit in here where you can actually mitigate your rolls in ways. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. With the Aether tokens, the new advanced druids, where you actually have all the druid powers available and they don't unlock. So just more variety, more flexibility. So they've really tried to they haven't changed the game. It's still the same thing. It's not going to fix the problem. If you hate random die rolls, it's not going to solve it, but you'll now be able to mitigate a lot of those problems.
Right.
That's good.
Okay.
Nice fix that they put in there.
Yeah, I really appreciate the fact that there's going to be more opportunities. So there was a couple, not very many, especially you've got that one faction.
One hand.
And you had to be playing that one specific faction in order to get like the reroll abilities.
That was a faction that Julie was playing and she demolished. I was like, wow, she's like way ahead of everyone else. And I'm like, I wonder why.
Oh yeah, there's the gold. There's the new elite dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, look at the quality. Those dice. I just want to have those dice. They just look awesome.
Yeah.
Man, everything here. Quality across the board.
And then there's these new poker chip like things where you can randomize.
Those are banes. So they are randomized. You can use them or you cannot use them. What they do is they add an extra effect to the enemies and they make them harder, but they also make it so that they're, you've got more ace. You don't have the same game every time, because that was one of the issues with Uprising, is that if you play it a lot, once you've played it, you've seen everything. Like this is one of those games that you can like play through the game and you'll know exactly what to do. And so this helps with that, because you'll get this guy with this bane and then this guy with this bane. And next game, the same guy comes out and you have a different bane. So we'll play differently.
Right.
Which I would appreciate, because in my handful of games, you do end up seeing all of the chaos and all of the Legion big bads. If you're only just playing just the core box, if you're playing just the core box, you will end up seeing all of those guys in a different order, but you still have seen them all of the time, and you know exactly what to do. So I appreciate that little extra bit of variability.
I really love having this discussion with two people who have played the game. It's nice because you read the page and like I was sold on this page just with everything that they were saying. And it does sound like what they're saying, they have fixed a few things, with both of the things you guys touched on here, where it was the replayability. They said they had great replayability. Well, it looks like they added something in to give you that so that it's not just the same game over and over. There was another one that you had mentioned off screen, Jason, which was the time, like it's a long playtime. And they have something in there that said that they have mitigators for difficulty level and time. I don't
but it's
know.
not good. Like,
Well, that's what I was going to ask, because I don't know what that mitigation was.
So here's what you can do, and I'm not going to say that it's. I got to just call out what it is. It's an attempt at doing it, but it sucks. It's terrible.
Okay.
Because all it is you're cutting the game to a shorter length. Like a short game is 2 chapters of the game, so it's 2 rounds. Then the mid game is 3 chapters, and the long game is 4 chapters. So, and nothing I've seen here like really changes that. So, you know, if you're playing a short game, you might just be winning at chapter 2, but you might get murdered at chapter 3. Part of the real issues is the fact that the game scales incredibly bad. Like, it's not even a question. You get, when you're playing with 4 players, you get a total of 64 actions throughout the entire game. And then each like player that you're cutting out, you're losing like that number of actions because
and those actions are needed.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's 8 actions per turn. I'm just trying to remember, like, sorry, no, not 64. It's 32 that you're getting. But if you're like a 2-player game, you're missing 64 actions. And what'll happen is that the first 2 chapters have no scaling in them. They're the same. So what can happen is in a lower player count game, 1 or 2 bad rolls, and you're behind the 8 ball. It can be chapter 2 and you're like, how the heck am I going to win? Now, if you like that difficulty, you're going to love this game. Now, in a 3 to 4 player game, it gets harder later on, but you can establish yourself. You can position yourself on the board. You can support someone to be like, oh, you just threw all your guys at this Legion. Well, he didn't die. That's fine. I'm going to come in and I'm going to clean him up so he's off the board and not threatening anyone. Now we can build up our forces. So there's just things like that happen. So there are some mitigations. You can adjust the difficulty a little bit, but
right,
it's not great. Like, and I haven't seen anything in here that changes it.
Yeah, I will reciprocate that exact notion that when we played with 2 players, it was very challenging and we did get overwhelmed. And then when I did a solo 3-player game, even just having just that one extra faction on the board, being able to do, because the board setup really didn't change. Right. I don't even think it might have actually had an extra curse token somewhere.
And a few more hexes, just a few more spaces. Like, but the core setup is the same, and those first starting chapters are the same.
That's what I'm remembering. And so, like the initial setup with adding an extra player really didn't change the initial board state. So you were able to position and maneuver and go take out a big bad as 2 players take out a big bad type thing. So yeah, it is incredibly difficult if you're playing it only at 2-player. I would say that. Yep.
Or how would so you were managing on your own 3 factions, and how was that?
Every faction's board is laid out laid out exactly the same. It's just that some of their actions might cost different resources. Stuff like that. Like, there's nothing really in terms in like special abilities. Like, there's the feat cards that kind of really specialize in everything. But for me, it was manageable. Like, I knew exactly what each faction was doing. What I would really like to do with my wife, but she thinks it's too much because she doesn't think like, just have 2 players play 2 factions each.
Right. That's where I was going. So if you think managing 3 was manageable, then certainly, if the 2 of us had this game, we could easily manage a couple factions each.
That's what Julie and I did. The main issue with that is just table space. It's table log and game length. Once you hit that 4 players, it's a 3.5 to 4 hour game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when you know what you're doing, like, it wasn't us like debating back and forth. It's just going through the steps is time consuming.
Right. Okay.
Good to know.
It's good to know, because I like that it can be done. And so you're saying that this should always be played with, well, in your case,
more than
Ryan, 3 factions. But if there's 2, you should be playing with all 4 factions. I
think you can do 2. The thing with 2 is this: you have to be willing to just lose, or just like wipe the board. If you're screwed, like, maybe one person that's in a really bad spot, like, play your round of like the second chapter. If you're not getting better, just call it and reset it. That's what I would do, because
here's my thing. If you're playing only just 2 factions, the 3-chapter game is, I think, perfect. The 3-chapter game in a 2-player only, 2-faction only setup, I think that's the optimal experience. It was very hard for that was tooth and nail right to the 3rd chapter. Then the 4th chapter, we just got absolutely just overwhelmed.
Right. Okay.
So just to reiterate, I agree with you, Ryan. What I was saying is that with a 2-player game, you might be looking at an uphill battle by chapter 2. So the player that's been wiped out, you may want to just be like, okay, well, let's see if I can get going. If you can't get going, you can just be like, well, we're done. Like, we're just in a bad spot. Like, just reset it and restart. Just unless you like that struggle. If that struggle is what you enjoy, then keep playing. But you can really find yourself like pushing, I want to quote a movie here, but the language is not good. But I'm going to quote Blade. It's like, some other people just got to ice skate uphill. Like, that's exactly what the game is.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So that was the Titan pledge. It's adding on stuff.
Look at the veteran pledge.
Yeah, they have the veteran pledge now, which is the new expansion, which was in Canadian 75, so 59 American, to the veteran pledge, which is 134 American. It says all the new stuff.
Bling. I think this is all the bling.
Yeah.
This is all of the upgraded stuff. So you get the new Titan expansion, which we've already seen. But then you get the deluxe components. So screen printed, wooden resources, metal activation tokens, deluxe target markers, which, okay, those really didn't need to be deluxe, but I guess they, like, I'll call this one excess.
When in Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you. Like, the tokens, it's nice, like they're deluxifying it all, but
that might be a little excess.
Needed. The painted curse minis are pretty cool, but at the same point in time, I don't know if they were needed, but they're cool. At least they're painted miniatures. I'm not so sure how I feel about the components. The cardboard's really thick, and you're often like just exchanging resources, and it's kind of turned like they're almost piled up in front of you. It's not like you want these like nice, neat, awesome components. Oh, what's wrong with me tonight? It's been a long weekend. It's not like this, like showing you like a coin I got here from like Youthia. Like, this is a beautiful metal coin. Like, but I look at that, I see it all the time. It's not in a pile of things that I'm going through.
Yeah. This was an interesting include into the campaign. I don't really, because that really just kind of takes away from the aesthetic of all those nice acrylic, bright standees. They do look cool, but I don't really see the value in them at all.
No, I think I agree with you on the Excess, Ryan, 100%. The one thing would be with this type of an upgrade, I feel like, are you going to deluxify all the standees into miniatures? But then again, that would push this game out of that $99 price point to like the $200 price point.
Yeah.
I mean, how much is just that box of
deluxe components? Let's just let's go to the add-ons here, which the deluxe components are $39 and the curses are $39.
Wow.
So 40, 39 US. So look, you're looking at it. I mean, that's for like 9 miniatures. So you can imagine how much like, doing a painted type thing would boost this game through the strategy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just adding on those two things is adding on an extra 100, like Canadian dollars. That's adding on another $100.
Yeah.
To the game.
Excess.
Like, and again, they do look nice.
It's one of those things where if this was, if this was your only game and you were playing it every night, or this was your weekly game,
and if this is your favorite game,
and you're gonna just play it, then sure.
That can be said about any game.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, absolutely. But
so
if this is the one, then yes. But otherwise,
Yeah.
I want to pull back from that a little bit, because I agree that, like, you want to deluxify the best your game. But there are games that we have, and there's games that we've all deluxeified that even if we paid a lot, it didn't cost this much to get.
No, for sure.
No.
Like I'm
Absolutely.
just thinking of the Reckoners, which I have like the pre-painted Reckoners that came with like all the metal components, and I think the game was like $70.
Yeah.
And then like
All those
$70.
days.
This was years ago though, but now we've got like the deluxe Reckoners with all the metal cubes and everything, and that was like $30 or $40 more, and everything was painted. Now there's not many miniatures, but like all the heroes being painted, and then the steel Slayer, like it was just
Yeah.
it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are advertising that you're getting like a random $13 savings of bundling it inside of this veteran pledge.
Nice that they give you that, right? Though, so you don't have to do the math yourself. Here it is. Just slap it on. It's $13.
And then we've got the ultimate pledge, the only way to get the Arch Nemesis expansion.
It is an add-on.
Yeah, it's included in something. I corrected myself.
Oh, right. That's included in the pledge. Yeah, you can either get the ultimate pledge or you can get the it's part of the hero pledge.
Oh, I missed that as part of the hero pledge. So that's just everything minus the deluxeified components and then the card packs.
For $250 Canadian.
Yeah, so why don't we pick either one of those? We can talk the excess or value like breakdown afterwards. We just really need to look at the Arch Nemesis expansion now. So why don't you do the ultimate pledge there, Ryan, so we can see what else comes with it.
Ultimate. There you go. Click.
So you do get the card packs. That's what I wanted to see if you're getting the other card packs. And look, you can even just click and go to the Arch Nemesis expansion.
Right there. Boom.
Oh my God.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
There is
Mind blown.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Arch Nemesis, which Jason, I still haven't opened. I still haven't opened.
Notice that it's not even punched. I didn't even punch any of it.
Oh no, I haven't even opened the box yet.
You get to punch it still, so enjoy that. It was one I didn't get a chance to punch.
Yeah,
I get such satisfaction out of punching games. Yeah. I love it.
I just made a tweet the other day. I made the tweet the other day that there's nothing more zen than cleaning one's barbecue. But then Jason had to come and said, yeah, no sleeving cards and punching tokens. I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty zen.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 factions, some more chaos, some more legion. Oh, and then there's the faction pieces, some more tiles.
New Haven colors. There's the omens, which are the new thing that they add to the game.
Their faction boards and the rule book, and then the trays to hold all the player components.
Fantastic.
And this was all for $39.59.
Yeah, 59 comes at 75.
Yeah, 59.
So that's
about almost half.
The original Kickstarter was $129 US for the base and the Arch Nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But then the shipping is where they got you because there was a lot of problems with shipping this out because of COVID. So that affected a lot of stuff. So there was the extra fundraiser. They got you the Blessing card pack, and the Armory card pack, which I think was like just given to you. The new stuff is the Ally card pack.
So is this something you have to add on to the campaign?
Yes, if you're not in the ultimate pledge, you'd have to add.
If you're not in the ultimate pledge, okay.
Yeah. And I have the Blessing pack that I need to just put in the mail for you.
Okay. Do I need to add on? So forward spoiler warning. So I have to, if I'm going with my Titan pledge here, I need to add on the Ally pack.
You do not. The only thing you would need, probably if you're just adding the Titan pledge, it'd just be the Ally pack.
I don't need to add on the Armory pack.
No, it's already there.
Okay.
You can double check unless they've added new stuff, but yes, that's already there, and the Blessing is sitting on my shelf.
More info. Titan pledge just has Titans of the First Age expansion.
Yeah.
Okay, so Armory pack is not included here.
No, the armory pack was included, I think, as an add-on in the first one, and I picked it up. And then the blessing pack was how they got the shipping cost.
I understand now. I'm standing under.
It's all coming clear.
Picking up what you're putting down.
And it's all coming back to me now.
That's all that was playing in my head, Ryan. I'm so glad you did that.
So we're going to change things up a little bit than how we usually talk excess or value. We've kind of broken down some of the different stuff. We've decided, that the core pledge value, Titan pledge, like just to gain the Titan pledge value. Let's compare the hero pledge and the ultimate pledge, because where we found the excess was some of the stuff that was in that, all the new stuff, the veteran pledge, which we really we didn't say it clearly, but I think we all agree, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that was excess. There's just a lot of excess in there.
Pretty excess.
Yeah.
How do we feel about, the $41 savings on the ultimate pledge and no savings on the $18 saving on the hero pledge? Which one would you be? Well, I think Rob and Anna Marie should probably answer this question since they don't have the game. What are your thoughts between those two?
Can you just scroll down to that other one again?
Okay, so hero pledge
253
is 253 Canadian, and ultimate pledge is 380, and that ultimate pledge is the one that's getting you the
upgrade pack and everything.
Yeah, upgrade and miniatures.
Yeah, I don't think I would even entertain that one. Just judging from what you guys said, especially with those tentacle things that cost $30 or whatever, that you don't need, and then blinging out a game that's already pretty bling on its own, not necessary.
When I said pretty excess, I didn't mean like it was pretty excessive. I meant like it was aesthetically pretty, like it's pretty excess. So, yeah.
But no,
yeah.
I don't think we would. If we were looking at this, we wouldn't be going that deep.
I agree, because that hero pledge, it comes with like all the stretch goals, which are all the unlocks and things like that.
Yep.
It comes with everything you need, and like you said, everything is gorgeous already.
Yeah,
like you've got the acrylic standees. It's not like these are cardboard and then that ultimate one is going to give you acrylic. No, like you've got everything in here.
The one thing I will say is you probably want the card packs. The armor's good.
But how much are those in the
yeah, let's take a look at the add-on since
the card packs are about $12 each.
And how many card packs are there?
The blessing was 35.
Yeah, so
and the blessing pack. What? What?
Probably has more cards. So you got
They also didn't lower the cost of it. That's what they use to get the shipping done. And then the other thing that I picked up that you have, Ryan, is the extra set of dice. That's why you have so many dice.
That's 30.
So I was wondering why I have so many dice.
Can you go back up to that hero?
So we got hero still makes sense.
253 plus another
like 50, just over $50.
Say $60 rounded out.
So 310.
Oh yeah, you're still saving. You're still saving yourself about like $70
just for the upgraded. Yeah.
Sorry, I want to see one thing. There's only one thing that might put that ultimate pledge over the edge. Can we just see if the dice are included?
I don't think
they are.
But if there were, that would put it over the edge.
Yeah, and there's no extra dice.
Yeah.
No.
Because those dice are nice.
They are. Yeah, they are. I agree.
Yeah, and they're all custom.
But I also don't need to pay $70 for better dice.
No, but that's just saying like
no, but like if we went through getting the big,
if they were added in there, you mean
the deluxe version, right?
I was just saying, Rob, is that you're at like 310. So if you like the dice would bring you up to like 330.
Yeah.
You want those other upgraded components for
$40. Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Jeez. When you start piling things on, it just starts to.
Well, that's probably where they're getting around. They're like around that $40 saving.
Yeah.
Right.
By going with this. But yeah, if you're just going to piece together those card packs and put them into the hero pledge, I think that's good.
Yeah. Like 310 or whatever.
If you really, really want to deluxify and bling out this game even further, then that's when you get to that.
If you're going to play 4 players, I think the extra dice are mandatory just because of the table space that this takes up. Right. And you would want to have like the people on the other side of the table to have their own dice.
How
Also,
much for the dice?
$20.
Okay.
What about going it like from a different angle here, and like, are all the expansions necessary? Can you just go with the Titan Pledge?
I think you
Or
need
not
you need the
Titan,
core
but,
box.
no, I
You
don't
need the
mean
core
Titan,
box.
the core box. That's what I mean.
That
Like, can
first
we-
one.
That
Can
gives
you
you
just
that
go with-
puts you at 190.
Yeah. So is like that enough of this game? Like, are
Plus the
other-
card packs, right? And then so plus 50, so 190. So like
I think
That's
you
what I
might
mean,
be
is like,
missing
240.
Like,
on
is
a
that
couple
enough of
things,
a
like the
game there?
omens, but I do think it's doable, Rob. I think you could definitely do the Uprising pledge and then the Titan pledge. And then just
Yeah.
grab the card packs and then skip the arch nemesis. The one thing is
Oh.
that this is how it gets you. And I think Anna Marie brought up this point earlier. It's not going to retail.
Right.
If
So
it
I'd
is
be
going to
kicking
retail
myself.
or is going to be sold, I probably would say like grab Uprising, grab Titan, and then pick up arch nemesis later if you like it.
So
Right.
that the piece of this puzzle that we're really kind of like pussyfooting it around essentially is how many times are you going to play this game?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And
think that's a good
Yeah,
point.
and I've played this a handful of times I haven't even touched the first expansion box.
Right.
We've only just played with just that core box. We've had 5 pretty cool, unique games. Like now, after those 5 games, I have seen all of the game that it has to offer.
Right.
Right.
Essentially, I'll just offer that into my input. But essentially, are you going to play it enough that you're going to play with those other expansions?
That's the thing.
the
I don't
end.
know.
Yeah.
Right. Like maybe just getting that core box and some of those card packs and dice might be that there might be something to that.
Personally, I wouldn't do it. I
Nope.
don't. That's my opinion. That's why I got rid of the game. I don't think the game is good enough, in my opinion. I don't enjoy the randomness enough to sit down for a 4-hour game and roll a bad die roll. I want to just kick my damn table over and be like, that was 3 hours down the drain. I do not find that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
But that's part of the game. If that doesn't bother you, that's fine. I don't mind bad die rolls. I don't mind frustrating things. I dislike it when it's like my time has been going on for so long. Anything that disrespects my time
Yeah.
drives me nuts. It's one of the reasons why I stopped playing a lot of MMORPGs. I don't have time to do like a 6-hour raid or this or that anymore. Like my time is precious. I got lots of stuff to do. So that was the big issue for me, is that like drove me nuts. I did not like looking at the board being like, we're dead. Like we're really dead. And what is this chapter? Like we're like halfway through chapter 2. That's like 2.5 hours and we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that's, you kind of look at it like, we could play Uprising or Eclipse.
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's
Or
what happened to me a lot. I could play Uprising or I could play Descent. We spent 2 weeks working on a review for Uprising just because of how long the game sessions were. And I was like, I've got a game sitting in the table that I could have got, like, it'd be done. Like my campaign game would be done in the time that I've been taking to play this
Yeah.
game.
yeah.
So that was my issue. So if I was getting this again, the Titan Pledge would be a must for me just to have those mitigation mechanics.
Sure. Sure.
fair.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah. I don't know. This one's
It
Tough
is
one.
a tougher one too. Now, I don't like yes, my game sessions did go long, but our later game sessions, we weren't getting to the 4-hour mark. Like we were in that 2.5 to 3. I know that's still a time investment.
Yeah.
That's still very much of a time investment. Yeah.
It was 4 factions that we hit 4 hours. So that would be
Yeah.
sort of the way that Rob and Anna Marie were talking about playing one player, 2 factions each.
yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be very likely that it would be probably the 2 of us playing it each with 2 factions. So likely 4 hours, and some of us over here suffer from AP pretty horribly. So
Oh, get out of town.
So-
I've gotten so much
it
better.
could get, it could get long. potentially. So
I would say though that this game doesn't really give you an opportunity for like AP, like the setup and the way the chapters roll out. It
just destroys you.
Forward, and then basically you're like, do I attack or not? And then after you attack, well, if it goes sideways, you're like, well, I got nothing else to do, so I'm going to do all this other stuff that might get me good stuff.
All right, okay.
Because it is, sorry, we didn't mention it. When you start combat, it is attack until you are dead or the enemy's dead. Like there is no retreat.
There's no chance for retreat.
Right. Okay. I kind of like that. I do like that, but
boom, 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 boom. Yeah.
Boom.
Right. Dead. Yeah, I don't know.
The problem is you're hoping sometimes that you've got like that like risk, that area with like with one guy that always rolls sixes. And sometimes you got the guy like just roll the six. Roll the six.
Oh.
Like, just stay alive.
I wish. Yeah. And I always ever so hoped that my big units just had an extra hit point, because every single unit that you control has one hit point. Yeah. So your big cannons, the big guns, the ones that roll the nice big dice that do lots of damage, they can still only be taken out with one hit.
Oof.
Wow.
Yeah, that would get deflating quickly.
Yeah. So there's the archery phase and then the regular attack phase. So sometimes you got to be careful because you've got archers, but the enemies always have archers and they always have regular attack. So if you go in with like bigger units because that's your only option, they might decimate you with a really strong archery roll, and you're just like, ouch.
Yeah, I don't know. I
feel my feeble sword.
The terrain does change some stuff up, and terrain can actually make it so that you do not use like archery phase and things like that, but manipulating the terrain and getting and like pulling people in specific directions and things like that does have some negative effects because they're out on the board longer, in particular the hordes that start cursing stuff, and curses are very hard to get rid of, but supposedly they've addressed that as well in the Titan Pledge. So you've got to like that level of really tight strategy. And if you don't mind leaving something up that might ruin your day, you might be able to maneuver into a spot that's going to be advantageous for you. But it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it is a very punishing. It's a very brutally hard game.
Very satisfying when you win.
Yes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That's good.
That was not the case for us. Kind of like it's done. It's good.
Thank goodness it's over.
Well, the reason why is because Julie was having a great run with like one of her factions. Like, and this faction was like so far ahead of everyone else that I don't even think they lost units. Like she just showed up, demolished, set up, and had like this nice like fort. Whenever anyone would come by, she'd just like be like, here's my giant elephant, like you're dead, and then go back into her like fort. So she's running away with it. A couple of the other ones of us were struggling, but she couldn't really help us. So it was like, she's all the way up here, and then the rest of us are like just getting by. So definitely satisfying to win, but we were at the point where like at the end of the game, it was like, if we don't screw up, we're going to win.
Yeah.
We just kind of set the game up and we calculated the points out, like, and we realized that they couldn't win, and we didn't even finish playing the game because you can actually math the game out. So if you are good at math, you can be like, this is the max amount of victory points they can get. I already have more than that. The game is over.
Right.
Okay.
I kind of don't like that. I don't like when you can figure out a game before the game's over. Like I always like thinking there's a chance of winning maybe, or like,
and
or
then
not dying, or
you're just like me. Then you just don't do it.
Right. Yeah.
You don't look ahead. You just like live in the moment.
Yeah.
But as Ryan's saying, the game is brutally hard. Like this is one specific example. I think it goes also back to the randomness of the game. You really never know what game you're getting when Uprising is on the table. You don't know what you're sitting down to. It could be a game that you guys get the great die rolls and you run with the whole game. It could be brutally hard. It could be an epic finish at the end where like Ryan said, was like, you're just cheering, like, we got it, we did it. Like, so that's just the game. And I'm really curious how the Titan Pledge affects all of that. I think it probably actually, we got some text messages.
My text messages just popped up for some reason.
It's all good.
I don't know. I think there's a lot to like here. There's just a few, I wouldn't call them red flags. I don't want to use that word. Just like slight concerns. And like you said, Jason, just time is a tough one. It's pretty rare that we're able to sit down to something for 4 hours.
And I think that's like what your game style is. Cause for a lot of people, like that's awesome. And and they have that time.
I mean, that's fine. Like on a weekend or something, that's great. But our weekends are always eaten up by the kids' stuff and stuff. And whenever we play games, we generally play games after bedtime. And that's usually around, we probably don't start playing till like 8 o'clock. So if we were to sit down to play this from 8 till midnight, and I get up at 4 for work every day, and like just
it wouldn't be a weeknight game.
No, this would be a planned.
Yeah, unless if you had a table or something where you're playing this that is able to stay assembled, and the game state can stay, and you can play a couple nights. Like say one night we do play a chapter. We play an hour, and then the next night we play another chapter. Only if your situation is able to accommodate that.
Yeah,
and it's good. The break points are really good. I will give them full credit on that. It's very easy to play one chapter, stop, because you will just reset the sequences. Like you can play the second chapter, stop, even do part of the setup. So there's a lot of nice break points in the game, and you're not going to come back and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. You're not going to be lost. So that is really good. So it is very much doable in like 2 sittings.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like here. We're certainly going to consider it, I would think, but I just don't know where we're gonna land here.
All right, I think we've talked enough about the game. We've come down with our verdicts of excess and value across everything that we've seen. We didn't really talk too much about the stretch goals and the add-ons. There doesn't seem to be too.
They're more just. There were those ones that are done by day, right? Like they're not dollar value amounts. It's all things that were, I believe, intended for the game anyways, right? Which is nice.
If they got a certain number of followers, they do have some stuff.
Oh, okay.
And then there's there's each of the days.
Yeah.
They did a lot of pre-campaign work too. They were kind of doing some pre-campaign advertising. Follow us, unlock. If you follow us now, unlock these things.
Gotcha.
Yeah. They did a lot of pre-campaign advertising.
So I think they've done a lot of great stuff here, and I would really like to see. I think I'm more interested in probably what's next from Nemesis games than this, but I really, really do want to play this with the Titans pledge and see if that would absolutely change my mind. I just don't know if I want to spend the money to rebuy it and then not have someone that wants to buy it off me.
That's pretty standard.
Yeah.
30 for the Titan or Uprising, and then 45 for the.
Well, you know what? Let's be realistic. I think shipping is just like completely gone crazy. I don't think any of this stuff can be relied upon at all anymore with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
Do a constitution roll.
Yeah, exactly.
What's it going to be today? Oh, there's the shipping rate.
Well, one thing that happens in my day job is I have to deal with a little bit of, I work in sales, and part of that is logistics. And in March, domestic trucking rates doubled and tripled in some areas. So if you're wondering why shipping costs are gone so high, with some people giving incredibly high shipping rates, something that used to be like $1,200 is now costs $2,400. And if you've got like 10 containers to send to a fulfillment center, like holy cow, did that go up? That can be almost more than what you're booking on a boat, depending on how things are going now. And that doesn't look like it's going to stabilize anytime soon, unfortunately.
That's crazy.
I used to do logistics too, and that just pains me to think about some of the trucking rates that the person that took over for what I'm doing right now is dealing with. So, oh my goodness, I can't imagine that.
For 2 weeks, you couldn't get a truck in Quebec and Ontario, on Eastern Ontario, roughly, because the rates were so low. They're based on that, like, well, $1.10 or $1.20 a liter. When everything shot up to like 170, 180, like people just stopped showing up. They just said, forget it. We can't do it at this cost. So the truckers were like, just like kind of chilling. And then all of a sudden
Wow.
it's gone back to normal because this gas prices have stabilized.
Right.
But I know someone that couldn't get like a truck from to go like a 3-hour distance. They had to go get it themselves.
Wow, because that's just nuts. Because what I did was I worked with live plants and shipped them all over North America, and you have a very small window to ship out your product for the year and make your money. So if trucks aren't available when you need them in that industry, oh my
Yowzers.
goodness gracious!
Yeah.
I don't know what they do.
But I think to the point of shipping, we kind of skipped over it because of
Yeah.
me. But you said Emery, Rob, Brian, standard prices, no complaints. If that's actually the
No,
price.
yeah, seems legit, or yeah, for what it is. So
Well, I'm taking a look at my Marvel Zombies right now. So
yeah, It's just-
it's a steal that
Yeah,
price.
that's right.
But we're not shipping as much game.
No,
Well,
So it seems pretty on par.
Yeah. Can you scroll down just to that pledge with the core box and the 2 expansions? Just that first.
Yeah, that was the hero pledge.
So it's $250.
so
So
it's a $300 game.
so no, that's Canadian.
No, but $250
Oh,
plus
plus
50
shipping. Yeah.
probably.
Because I think if you're like, let's compare it to one of those like CMON games where every expansion is like $50.
Yeah.
And so that would put the base game at 150. And it seems like you're getting quite a lot in this base game.
Oh yeah, they
like-
both attest to that.
right?
There's a
Like,
lot in these
so-
boxes and the quality is high.
So that seems pretty standard there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
yeah, I
value,
don't think it's unreasonable.
the question is, how many times are you going to play the game? Is this the kind of game? Because this is the game the designers have said it themselves that rewards multiple plays. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is designed for that game group that loves 4X games, that wants something that's brutally hard but doesn't want to beat up on each other anymore. They want
Yeah.
to work a
See,
little bit more together.
I like that it's
I kind
co-op.
of really like the sound of that,
Yeah.
honestly. Because we do like 4X games.
But it would be nice to have a co-op for
it would be nice to have one
Yeah.
where, we're not just out to get each other and screw each other over, right? So I like a lot of what I'm seeing for
The
sure.
question is though, how good is the cooperation? Because the cooperation is not there in the
It's not really there.
Right. You said you were kind of on your own island, right? Like you doing your thing, I'm doing my thing. And
units can't
And-
even cross into the same space. If your units are in a square, other people's factions can't go in.
right.
See, that would have been something that seems so neat. If you're
Yeah.
like, if I could join in with yours so we could go fight the bad together or something.
Mhm.
It goes a little bit against the lore. Like it makes sense. You're the Uprising, but you still don't trust each other. You're like the last remnant of different races. And
Okay.
the only thing
Okay.
we can agree on is that the Emperor sucks for getting you into this situation. So you want to destroy the Empire and the new Emperor.
Right.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Sure. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. But yeah.
This does sound, it's just different from everything we have. All the 4X we play is just destroy each other at all costs, right? And so, I don't know. It sounds great. It does. It really
It's
does.
on Tabletop Simulator. Maybe that's the kind of thing that you want to sit down and try to play
Yeah.
a chapter on Tabletop Simulator to see what you think.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
That's not, now that we have a computer that can actually
Yeah, now
run Tabletop
exactly.
Simulator.
Now that we
Yeah.
could actually play online.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like here. I'm certainly very, very much interested. Whether or not we pull the trigger, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
But-
I'm interested. I'm intrigued. I like that both of you have played it, and I've liked getting the different sides of the game.
Yeah. I
and-
like that Jason liked the game, but not enough to keep it because of
the
reasons,
length and
whatever. And,
difficult.
but Ryan has it and plays it and likes it even in with those circumstances. But now that this new version is going to potentially change the things that Jason didn't like, there's a lot to potentially like here.
That was-
Just
Well said.
knowing you, if you did end up getting it, I think you would enjoy the plays you do get out of it.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree.
I 100% agree with that. Now you just have to whether or not that the price is justified for the amount
Yeah.
of experience you're going to get. And that's
Yeah.
just the question of life.
right.
That's right.
Really.
But then, you look at a game like this, and then you look at a game like Twilight, right? And Twilight Imperium, and like, what does that go for these days? Like, that's nearly $200, isn't it? Like, just for
It does, but
everyone
like if you get that, it's like everything. That's like Twilight 4 plus Prophecy of Kings would get you to about this price point.
Yeah, okay. So, but like, this isn't far off from, the gold standard of 4X style games in price range, and mind you, Twilight plays in double the amount of time that this does. So
Also, you got the higher player count with Twilight, though. Don't forget,
Yeah.
like, this is only 4. That's, I think, the big difference there is just the amount
True.
of players.
But it's not, yeah, it just feels like it's kind of in the same realm as Eclipse and all the other 4X games for length. So it's not like that crazy to think about. I don't know. We'll see.
I think if you got the time for it, it's reasonable. I think that the issue is when I think about like me playing it, also playing with a game group, like game night starts at 7.
Yeah.
Playing with a game group, if we're going to 11, like that's,
Yeah.
If we played a lot, we're probably going to at least, like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and that'd be after quite a few plays of the game. Question is,
Yeah.
That's a question I would have for you guys is how was the learning or teach of this?
So I learned straight from the rule book.
Okay.
It was a slog at first. It was definitely a slog. After I had read the rule book, I had an idea.
Yep.
Then I think I went to John Gets Games.
Yeah, John Gets Games tutorial is like,
and so and that just reaffirmed lots of the things. I'm like, oh, okay, that really clarified that section. Oh, that clarified that section.
Okay.
So straight from only the rule book, it was a slog in my opinion.
Nothing you're doing in this game is complicated. Like,
no,
everything is straightforward. It's easy enough to teach. The tricky thing is the strategy. And the one thing I'll tell you this is, on your first game, don't be afraid to walk something back, because you really want to figure out like how you're going to poke and prod and move around the board, because your first move, you could go after a horde and be like, did I just lose all my guys?
That was just a dream. That was just a dream. Let's wake up now and do it for real.
It's like, then you might be like, I should have brought archers. I didn't bring any archers and I got murdered. So just, be flexible with yourself that first game.
Yeah. And I think Jason said, like, once you get into it, the actions themselves are very simple. I think my problem with the rule book was the rule book presented it like it was more complex than it actually was.
Yeah.
That
bothers me when that happens.
Yeah.
I found that a lot. And probably in the last 10 games I've done, I've probably found like half of them have kind of come across that way, where I'm just like, why is this seems like so full of jargon, and like the rule book just didn't do the game any justice. So if you say that there's a video from John Gets Games that helps in that fashion, well, usually there's videos for everything, but if there's a good video out there that would help me with these.
I think there's even videos from like the Nemesis games guys as well playing this.
Sure.
Too.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Then I would probably just skip the rule book entirely.
That's why those folks get paid the big bucks.
Right.
Right.
I think we've talked enough. Unless anyone has got anything else to add, I think we need to let everyone know if we're back in the game. I think all 3 of our positions have been quite obvious now throughout the length of the video. But let Ryan take it away, because I think he's got the most exciting one for.
I'm getting the expansion. That's it. I'm getting the expansion
and the allies,
and I'll get the ally card pack, since that's the only thing that I won't get. I'm not going to upgrade it at all. This is not going to be in like my top games of all time, but I am going to enjoy it. And I do want to see what this new expansion. After I play the other expansion that I have, I'm going to buy an expansion before I'll probably play that other expansion before this one actually ends up fulfilling. So I have some time, and then this will show up and I'll be like, hey, remember that game Uprising? Hey, we get to play it again. I'll have to watch the John Gets Games so I can remember how to play. I'm getting the expansion.
Okay.
100%.
Well, yeah, I think we're very much interested in it.
Yeah.
Just have to kind of see what makes sense financially, I think, with this one. But yeah, that's no
Because it would be a big chunk at one time.
it would be, yeah. And it's no big it's nothing against these guys at all. I think the game looks great.
Yeah.
But we have to kind of crunch and see what makes sense for this.
I might want to try it out on actually like what you said, Jason, on
Yeah.
Tabletop Simulator and see how it plays.
Yeah, I very much
So.
would like to have it. We'll just see if it makes sense financially, because I think if we do get it, we would need to get that pack
yeah,
with the 3
that ultimate pack, and they're not the ultimate,
No.
the
Hero pledge.
hero pledge
Yeah.
plus those ally cards.
Yeah, so
And yeah.
that's kind of the way we would go if we do get it. So we'll see. Maybe we'll update in the next video.
That would be awesome. So for me, if it hasn't been obvious, I'm not going to be rebacking this game. I absolutely do want to play this game with the Titans pledge. I don't have the time to do a full playthrough on Tabletop Simulator. That might be the kind of thing that kind of sways me the other way. Just with the cost increase, the fact that I previously owned the game, it's just not something that I want to bring back into my collection. I do think they've started taking a lot of the steps to fix the game and improve it in a way that I would enjoy it more. I just think that where I'm at right now, like currently where Julie and I are at, we would much rather have games that hit that 90-minute playtime than 90 minutes to 2 hours regularly. And right now, this one isn't quite Legend Live. I love it. Isn't quite doing it.
Submit pledge. I'm not going to enter my credit card information online.
Why not, Ryan?
I'd have to blur that out, or would I?
Whoops.
See what happens.
Oh gosh, that would have been a blunder. I guess I could stop sharing my screen at this time.
Edit.
Yeah, you can definitely stop sharing your screen so you can make sure to get that pledge going. So I will let all of our guest hosts, regular hosts, guests on the channel, tell you where you can find them once again. And hopefully you enjoyed our conversation about Uprising, Titans of the First Age.
Everybody, this has been Rob and
Anna Marie
from the Meeple Dungeon out here in Kelowna, BC. You can find us on Twitter and YouTube and our podcast on all the major podcasting sites. We do all sorts of stuff on there. Just reviews and talk about stuff like this. So yeah, if you like this, you should probably like our show.
And I just finished entering my credit card information. So one Titan pledge has been paid for. And I have been Ryan from Mr. Owl's Gaming Rants and Reviews. And check out my YouTube channel where rants, reviews, playthroughs, I've got it all. These folks have been on the, I don't even know how the screen's actually looking and everything. These folks have been on my show already or on the channel one form or another. So looking forward to more.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I always love working with everyone here. We always have a blast. And I'm sure we're going to be back again sooner rather than later, because how many cool Kickstarter campaigns are there like ongoing right now, and what's coming out? Like
this Tuesday is got even more coming out.
Is it Castle of Burgundy on Tuesday?
No, but the new edition of Raw. The new Raw, which is going to make me want to get rid of my Fantasy Flight Games version, which is really highly sought after. So if anybody wants that, send me a message. Get rid of that one, get the new one.
All right, now I'd like to remind everyone to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know when the next video is released. And then also down below in the video description, those links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to see some pictures of Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor, it was on the table for a long time. There are tons of pictures on those feeds, so make sure to go check them out. Then also down there is a link to multizone.ca, great Canadian game store. Click that link, you'll get 10% off your next purchase. It's a great way to support the channel, as that portion that comes back to us. Also, you're upset about your shipping costs for CMON's Marvel Zombies. Well, guess what? They do CMON Kickstarter. So I'm kicking myself. I should have done the $1 pledge because I might have been able to avoid this shipping nightmare. But unfortunately, now I'm stuck right in the middle of it. I'll make sure to check them out. And now we're going to remind everyone to keep playing
Keep playing
games.
games.